With the country speeding to higher health care, the Senate rejected two health care bills, all but assuring that insurance premiums will double for millions of Americans next year. Joining us now is NBC's Alice Barr in Washington. And Alice, the Senate now going 0 for 2 on passing a plan here. So break down what happened with these votes.
Yep, it was kind of a 1-2 punch of failed votes, one that was promoted by each party, and that combination is essentially knocking out hopes that at least the Senate is going to offer a health care fix before Obamacare subsidies expire at the end of the month, and that then will send insurance premiums soaring for some 22 million Americans. So one of the plans, the Democratic-led proposal, that's the one that wanted to just extend the subsidies for 3 years. That did actually get some bipartisan support. There were 4 Republicans who crossed over to back it, but that wasn't enough to reach the 60-vote threshold to get that one across the line. And the other one, the Republican-backed alternative, didn't get any bipartisan support. It didn't get any Democrats on board. That other option is one that would have allowed the Obamacare subsidies to expire, but it would instead promote this Republican idea, or would have codified what has been a Republican idea, of putting money instead into health savings accounts that Americans could then access and use however they want to. And Republicans have argued that they think that Obamacare itself, the system, has forced health care costs up. They don't want to put more money into it. And they argue that that's giving money to insurance companies. They want to give it directly to Americans. So those were the two options. They both failed. And now we're barreling toward this cliff at the end of the month, the end of the year, when folks who are on Obamacare are going to lose those subsidies, those tax credits, and they may see their premiums double or potentially even more than that in some instances.
And some of these House Republicans you speak of, they're planning to put up their own health care plans. I mean, when can we learn a little more about the nitty-gritty there?
Yeah, so this was all what happened in the Senate, that they have not been able to pull something together there. But now the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, the top Republican in the House, he said that he's going to have a vote in the House next week that he said would bring down the cost of health care for all Americans, not just 7% of them. That's the number that roughly that are on Obamacare. We just don't know what that plan would be. At this point, there hasn't been a central, publicly made at least, rallying point that GOP House members have gotten behind for what their alternative would be, if it's the health savings account idea or something else. He did say that he intended to release some more details on that potentially as soon as this weekend. Okay,
so we'll be watching the House next. But, you know, all this leading into next year's midterms, how much of a hot potato is this going to be for candidates up for re-election, really on both sides of the aisle? Because with these premiums going up, we know voters tend to vote with their wallets, Alice.
No, that's exactly what it is going to be. And that's really kind of all what Democrats have to bank on at this point, because if you remember, extending Obamacare subsidies was the central sticking point for Democrats that kept the government in that record-setting shutdown that extended through last month. And the entire reason that Democrats did not want to negotiate to reopen the government without having these subsidies extended was for this very reason. They didn't want to get to the end of the year and have this cliff and not have enough time to, give relief. So they are now planning to hold the issue over Republicans in next year's midterms. And we have heard of some swing district House Republicans who actually want to force a vote on extending the subsidies, extending the tax credits, because they are worried that spiking costs could cost them their seats. They're looking down the line to the midterm elections that are going to decide control of Congress. And both sides know what an important issue affordability is going to be, and health care, and you're combining those two with this issue right here.
A lot could happen between now and November. Alice, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next week.